All right, this is episode 9 of the Drum Shop podcast. My name is Justin Mason, and today I am joined by Rich and Toby of TnR Products. How you doing, guys?
Woo, awesome, man. Stoked to be
Good
here.
man.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So, last episode I talked about endorsements, and
Mhm.
I've been a TNR artist for 4 years, 5
Yeah, that's
years,
been a while, huh?
something like that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted to keep with the endorsement thought. So I wanted to talk to you guys kind of about endorsements, but I also wanted
Sure.
to talk to you about TNR products
Yeah.
because TNR is a company that some people may not know about.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that. How
Sure.
did TNR products come about and how did you guys meet and just kind of start that?
Oh man, I don't know. You want to start this off, Tobes, or should I do it?
Okay, so I had a party at my house, and Rich was invited.
That's a good way to start a story, isn't it? We had a party.
so, there was this party at my house, and I invited this guy Dylan. Well, Dylan invites Rich, and it was a jam session. So I'm like, "Hey, what's up, brother?" And he plugged in and played guitar, and the rest is history. He sounded great on guitar, so I was like, "Dude, we got to hook up," and we ended up playing together. And Rich was big into writing jingles at the time, and I had a big Gretsch kit uh, with a 24-inch kick, and it was like 10. I think it was a 10, 12, a 15, and a 16-inch floor tom. Anyway, floor toms were not happening when we were recording on some jingles, and we were trying to fix it. So you can continue from there if you want, man.
Hmm. Yeah, we just started with the floor tom, and Toby had heard about guys sticking cymbal felts or their
Mm-hmm.
cymbal bag or just anything soft underneath the legs of the floor tom. And and I think he even mentioned, like foam or something. And I'm like, well, I got some like old Oralex like sound treatment. And so we just kind of made some really crude versions and noticed that it made a real difference. And yeah, so pretty much it started from there, just out of necessity, like most things do.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. So you kind of touched on that. We see so many products, and people make stuff for the drums just to make stuff for the drums.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's good to hear that this came out of necessity,
Oh
not
yeah.
just, hey, I
Yeah.
want to make a quick buck.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people out there who make a product that's looking for a purpose.
Right.
And we're really, like we were just dudes who we love music and we love drums and we want things to sound great, and we had a problem. And our first solution was pretty crude, you know
But it worked.
and Tobes used those for quite a while, and then I think we kind of thought, maybe we could make this a little better. And
Yeah.
and then down the road we thought, well, maybe we could actually sell these and people would use them. And hey, tell them the story about Frank, Tobes. We were just talking today.
Well, so the first version of the booty shakers were kind of a crack up in a way. Uh, and there were these like just square chunks of foam with a hole in them, and we had some, because different floor toms have different size of footings on them, right? Some of the rubber footings are bigger, some are smaller. So we
Right.
had, a couple of different versions with different size holes that were drilled in the top of these square chunks of foam, and we bagged them, and we used, I think, what was it, like a Remo box, and so we were trying to repurpose Remo boxes. So we turned them over,
Yeah.
and I don't know, we put, like booty shakers on the top, and we put them in bags, and we went up to this guy, Frank Uberti. He has a music store up in Solana Beach, and
Here
he
in
looked
Southern
at him,
California.
yeah, in San Diego, yeah. And so anyway, so we got them in a shop and we were all excited. It was our first shop and everything. And then a couple weeks later, we went up there and I was like, hey, so how's it going? He goes, well, I haven't really sold any. Plus, you know, I have to, he sells us. Plus, I have to tell you, man, this is just looks like the product looks like something you could make in your garage, dude. And so, so, you know, Rich and I
And he
kind
was
of,
right.
yeah, he was right. Rich and
He
I
was
kind
right.
of hung our heads and we're like, ah, dang, man, what are we going to do now? Right. So then we went back to the drawing board and then we came with this stuff, came up with the idea of, you know, the idea of making a more into a cylinder type of
Yeah.
thing, you know, and then
Well, and we went and we found a a manufacturer,
yeah,
who could help us, kind of produce shapes, particularly like, it has the little slotted kind of receptacle that allows it to fit over a big rubber foot or a small, old vintage kit. And yeah, so that helped us up our game, but it's funny how that is, like sometimes you you get a little news that maybe kind of wounds your pride a little bit, but it's something you need to hear. And those things helped us get better, and, because we were there to make it better. You know what I mean? We weren't just there to hawk something,
Right.
So,
So I would be remiss if I didn't explain what booty shakers are.
yeah.
So
Well,
there
now
are
before you go to that, let me say still now, obviously now that we have rebranded, we
right.
actually don't use the Booty Shaker name anymore. Now it's all True Vibe ISO mounts.
Well, and I
And
wanted to get into that.
but we can touch back on that later.
So what booty shakers are, or what True Vibe
Yeah.
is basically an isolation device. You put
Correct.
these little cylinder shaped foam things
Mhm.
on the floor toms,
Yeah.
and it allows your floor tom to vibrate or to
Yes.
resonate
Correct.
so that those little plastic feet aren't killing the resonance.
Yeah.
And there's also little booty shakers
Yeah.
that go on the arms of your snare stand
Yep.
to do the same thing, to not kill
Absolutely.
the resonance.
Yeah.
So you mentioned True Vibe.
Yeah.
Going from Booty Shakers to True Vibe, is it just a rebranding because Booty Shakers sounded silly? Is there a difference in the two? Kind of
Yeah.
touch on that.
There is an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of changed the shape of the snare stand mounts. Um, we also were able to finally kind of refine our manufacturing process and also brand those with the TnR logo, which was kind of a real negative for the product before. That once you took it out of the packaging and it was on the kit, nothing said what it was or where you could find it or how you could learn more about it.
Right.
The big upgrade was with the floor tom isolation mounts that we added the silicone band that protects the whole outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the one negative for those was that eventually you're going to step on it, and the top foam that really all it does is allow the isolation mount to hang on to the leg. So if you move and reposition your drum, it doesn't roll away or, those would tear really easily.
Mm-hmm.
So now with the silicone, that just kind of protects it and makes them a lot more durable and, kind of improves the longevity of it. So it was sort of a twofold. We wanted to rebrand, and the reason being that we kind of discovered, just like you said, when we started out, we thought the name Booty Shakers would be cute and funny and imply, hey, you're going to get big booty shaking tone. Like that was how we thought about it. And it just didn't translate. A lot of times it always required us explaining that. And the first reaction would often be, a snicker, because it was kind of funny, And so, not that we're opposed to funny, we love that. But at the end of the day, marketing wise, if we want to communicate a message that we're about tone and that our products are going to help you improve and perfect your sound and get that reliably, we need a name that communicates that message better. And so far, it's been great, man. Everybody's really loved the name. Kind of the joining of those two words, true, something that's level and square and reliable, and vibe being short for vibrations, or having vibe like your emotional state, that it's got soul, it's got I think all those things, along with the kind of the little sound wave that's part of our logo, makes it clear that we're about the sound. So long story short, two prong, they are upgraded, and they're also renamed with a name that kind of represents who we are and what we do more effectively.
Do you have anything to add to that, Toby?
Well, I would say that most of the time when people experience the product,
Mm-hmm.
then we don't really have to try to sell them on it.
Right.
I mean,
True.
we've been at NAM, or we've talked to different drummers along the way, and once you hear the floor tom by itself, and then you put the true vibe ISO mounts on, there's a marked difference in
Yeah.
the sound. And what I experienced as a drummer, the first thing that I experienced way back, and then still today, I use them on every gig and recording session, is that not only did it allow my floor toms to vibrate, but it felt so good to hit. It's like, I don't know if you've experienced this before, Justin, but a choke drum, when you hit it, after you hit it, you're kind of like, you want to just put it away.
Right.
I've actually done gigs where I've had backline drums, and I'd sit down and I go, dun, dun, and I just start taking drums off, just
Yes.
taking drums away, going like, I'll just use the kick and snare. Thanks, man. I'm cool. I don't really want to hit the toms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with it. I snare, kick and snare. If it sounds all choked, and I just don't want to hit it. But with the ISO mounts, right? The True Vibe ISO mounts, once the drum can just, in its true nature, vibrate, then it allows that sort of low fundamental, and somehow the way that the head that reacts when I hit it with the stick, it's like doom, doom, and it just feels like a juicy. You just want to keep hitting it, like, dang, I want to play my kit,
Right.
as opposed to like some other, I don't know, something else that's not working. And that is the whole thing, going back to the beginning of this story of stuff not working, to where now things are, and it's a joy. I would say, and I think people get the same reaction. I don't know, what's your reaction to it, the difference between your floor toms without them, or your mounted tom in a basket without it, and then once you put them on, what's your experience with that, Justin?
So, our front of house guy at the church that I play drums at, he is probably one of the best sound engineers that I've ever met.
Hmm.
Oh, wonderful.
And when I first put the little BootyShakers on our snare stand, I had just changed drum heads and put a new snare wire on the snare too. And he came up to me after we did our run through, and he said, "What did you change?" I said, "Well, I changed the drum head." He said, "No, it's not that." "Changed the snare wire." "No, it's not that." I said, "Well, I put these little things on the snare basket." I kind of explained it
Yeah.
to him, and he said, "That's what it is."
Yeah.
He said, "This snare does not sound choked." And we mic the top and the bottom
Mhm.
on that snare.
Yeah.
And he just looked and he said, "Don't change anything. Leave it
Cool.
just like that."
That's the best story you can hear. I
Yeah.
love it.
And I've been a believer since then, even before then.
Yeah.
Um, with Nevermind the Damage, which
Mhm.
is my metal band,
Yeah.
our album Fatherless Nation, we recorded over a year and a half
Oh, wow.
because we had to change studio spaces. We had to
Hey, we're in
change
one of those
engineers.
recording projects right now.
And we changed singers 3 times.
Oh, wow.
So you can listen to Fatherless Nation and
Mhm.
you hear 3 different drum sets,
Mhm.
about 5 different cymbal sets,
Mhm.
and about 3 different rooms
Yeah.
on that 9 song album.
Yeah.
But I can listen and pick out which song was recorded with BootyShakers and
Oh,
without.
nice. Oh, that's cool.
So just by hearing the sound.
Yep. No, I believe it, man. We hear that story a lot, man.
Yeah.
And that's really the cool thing. I mean, Toby kind of was touching on it earlier, and that man, the coolest thing about the whole business is just being able to interact with players and
Hmm.
like have them be excited about, dude, this sounds so great. Like we get to be a part of that. We get to be a part of the music that they make and them being
Right.
excited about making that music. And that's what makes it so fun doing the shows and interacting with people on that level. And it's always usually really easy uh, to demo our stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
it's kind of undeniable, and that makes it awesome.
Well, and when you have a product that speaks for itself
Mhm.
as well as your product speaks for itself,
Yeah.
it's not hard to sell it.
No, man. The show.
So, Rich, you're not a drummer. You're a
No, I'm
guitarist.
not. I'm terrible. Like,
So
But he's a
what
he's a great kazoo player.
that's it. That's where my skill. That's where my skill shines.
what made you I know there was, the necessity and you kind of teamed up with Toby.
Yeah.
What made you want to delve into a drum product
Yeah.
manufacturing?
Well, I mean, part of that goes back to my time at Taylor. I worked for Taylor Guitars for a bunch of years, like through the 90s. And so I had a lot of experience, with building guitars. Part of my time there, kind of the second, 5 or 6 years that I was there, I got to work with R&D
Mm-hmm.
on the Baby Taylors and the bass guitar and some other stuff. And so I got to have a little more, hands-on experience with how they developed their products and developed their very proprietary tooling and machining, and so I've always enjoyed that. And then on top of that, it was really just that Toby and I together just wanted, how do we make this sound good,
Right.
and even though I'm not a drummer, you know, I don't know, man, I love the drums. The drums are always my favorite part. Like if the drums are happening, man, it's fun for me as a guitar player
Mm-hmm.
to play, you know, and so I guess it's just, yeah, you know, I love the drums and I love making stuff. I had experience and it just seemed like, well, I'd rather do this than dig a ditch. So, there we are.
So how has it, and this is for both of you, how has the networking been with other musicians, when you've went to drum shows or just connected with other musicians online? How has that, I guess, increased your want not only to play music and continue in this, but to continue to make products for TnR?
Yeah, I mean, it's, uh, I mean, really the business, I mean, aside from making music, I mean, I would play music no matter what. That's a part of who I am. I started playing guitar when I was 10.
Right.
And I mean, there won't ever be a time of my life where that's not part of, you know, I don't know what people do who don't play music. It's strange. Um, but, uh, but as far as the business goes and TNR, I mean, it's just like anything else, it's all about making friends,
Mm-hmm.
and to be quite honest, in a lot of cases, it doesn't even really matter whether you have the greatest product in the world. If you can't create and cultivate relationships, it's going to end up being a secret, you know,
Right.
and because you need, it's important that you have a real product, but it's just as important that you're able to build friendships, and I think that's the best, part about the business is the people that we get to meet and interact with, and you know, what do you think, Toad?
Well, I think you're good at that, and I think I'm more of like, uh, I don't, well, put it this way. Social media, I don't really do social media. Rich is all about it. I think for Rich is more about it because he's, wanting to cultivate those friendships and the business and get all that stuff going. Um, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm a music teacher as well, so I'm a pretty busy guy. Um,
Same.
but eventually, oh, you are too, a music teacher?
Yes.
Oh, killer. What do you teach?
Drums.
Oh, okay. So like
Just
private,
private lessons.
right on. Yeah, I did that for years, and then the last like 6, 7 years, I've been doing like a middle school band.
Okay. I did that for
Yeah.
a couple of years. High school band.
Oh, right on. Yeah. So where was I going with that? I don't know. Oh yeah. As far as, so, I'm just pretty busy with that, and Rich and I've been talking, and we're just hoping that eventually it would be nice that things take off, so that we could maybe have our own shop
Mm-hmm.
in town, and like get all the tooling, everything, make the product here, maybe get our sons involved in the business or whatever. That's still a possibility.
Oh, for sure.
So,
One
but
thing I was thinking about, I thought you might bring up, like, the last drum show we did at Drum Flip. There's one shop here in San Diego called Drum Flipped that
Mm-hmm.
our friend Ed Connors runs, and we did a little show out there. I don't know, what was it? It's kind of a while ago now, um, but remember Paul came by and was playing your kit, and just how fun that was to have
mhm.
Paul, who's kind of a San Diego legend a little bit, and have him enjoy the kit and us enjoy him enjoying it and the sound of our products, like that was cool. Remember what I'm talking about?
uh, wait, is that Justin? Do you know who we're? So it's Paul Kimbaro. Have you heard that name?
It sounds
Kimbaro.
familiar.
He
Yes.
he played he was on the road with Sean Nana,
Okay. Yeah.
which is a really old school, you know, rock
Mm-hmm.
and roll group. But needless to say, when I moved to San Diego in 1995, Paul Kimbaro was the guy. Like,
Right.
I mean, we would go to these jam sessions, just sit down and like watch this guy freaking rip, like straight ahead jazz, Latin, funk, whatever. The guy could play everything, and he always shows up with this silly attitude, like, yeah, okay, we're gonna try to make some music here, and just whatever, but then just rip it up, and you're just going like, my God, how does this guy play like it? So yeah, he had some health issues, and he had been kind of out of the loop, and he showed up at this drum show and just kind of just politely just sit down and freaking jammed, gracefully on the kit. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
he looks at us like, yeah, man, nice kit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with Rich. It's super cool when there's that joy and that, I don't know, that feeling, that good feeling that we get when we share stories, when we share music,
Mm-hmm.
all that, it's just, yeah, good vibes. There's been a lot of good vibes with True Vibe.
There you go. That's how you plug it.
Formerly known as BootyShakers.
That's
Yes.
right.
So Zoom is trying to cut us off.
Okay.
So I want to say one thing,
Yes,
and
sir.
then I want to let y'all plug away.
Yep.
So I love that you guys mentioned that relationships are key.
Mhm.
When I look to endorse a product, I look for a relationship over what am I going to get? Am I going
Yeah.
to get free gear? Am I going to get discounted gear? That's not what matters. And I touched on this on the last episode. I endorsed Vader drumsticks for a year and a half.
Mhm.
I left Los Cabos not to endorse Vader, but the Vader endorsement came after I left Los Cabos.
Mm-hmm.
I wound up leaving Vader to go back to Los Cabos
Hmm.
because the relationship was there with Los
Sure.
Cabos, and it was not with Vader.
Hmm.
So I said that just to, kind of touch on or reiterate your point about relationships,
Yeah.
because that's what's important when you're supporting a product.
Yeah.
There are so many guys who and gals who say, "All right, what can I get
Yeah.
from you?
Yeah.
How much free stuff can I get from you?" And that's not a relationship.
Yeah.
That's you taking advantage of a company.
Yeah.
So, what's next for TnR Products? What's next for True Vibe?
Yeah. Well, we're still hoping to finish up. We're real close on our bass drum mount and super proud about it.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping we can come out with that next year. It's a pretty involved product. It's
Right.
not as simple as it is simple in function and but as far as us manufacturing it, it involves injection molded parts, so it's a little more costly. But there's more stuff in the hopper. I mean, for us, it's really been a challenge of just coming from two guys who had an idea to having the brand recognition and brand confidence and sell through that provides us with the money to grow and do other things, because those things aren't free and neither of us have endless pockets. So nobody is, there's no bankroll behind us. We're just dudes doing this, man.
Right.
And we've gotten to where we are because of the relationships, and we're super proud and happy about that. And yeah, there's lots of good stuff to come. We're pushing and trying to get there. And uh you know right now we do just to well, I don't want to interrupt you. I was going to plug there, but you want me to do you want to have another question first?
No, go ahead. We're gonna
Okay.
have to wrap up.
I was just going to
'cause-
say, right now we're running some bundles that are really a great deal. Some great discounts. If there's any people out there looking for some Christmas gifts, maybe one for themselves and one for a buddy,
Mhm.
we got some killer bundle deals on the website right now. And so, we recommend you check that out and, get a deal.
And I will second that.
Right on.
All right. Anything else that you guys want to plug? Anything musical wise you're coming up or anything like that?
No, I mean, Tobin and I are always, working on our own music and doing stuff there. And, it's kind of been as everybody knows, it's been kind of a weird time in our lives with,
Right.
COVID. And, now, we're doing a little bit of stuff, but who knows what's coming. But,
Mhm.
we're overall, we're super excited about the drum business and all that means. And we're proud to be here, a part of your podcast, man. And we hope to do more of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm thankful that y'all were able to have the time to come on.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us.
Absolutely.
So TnRProducts.com, man.
Yeah.
They get it
And
all there.
is it at TnR Products on
Yeah, at
Instagram?
TnR Products, yep, for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Okay. I'll put all those
Lots of good
links.
stuff on there. Our Instagram is the kind of the key.
Yes. I'll put all those links in the show notes
Yep.
below. So anybody who wants to find them can find them there.
Right.
Well, all right.
Cool.
This will end episode 9 of the Drum Shop podcast. Again, thank you to my guests, Toby and Rich of TnR Products.
Yep. Thanks for having us, Justin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Y'all
Yeah.
have a great night.
All right. Happy holidays.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
Holidays.
All
Yeah.
right. Peace out.